Hey, what's up? It's Leah here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with jerks. Isn't that fun? 3 ways to deal with jerks. Oh, the joys. Have you ever been a jerk? I think if you're a human being, at times we've all been a little jerk-ish, right? So how do we deal with it when we're getting it from somebody else? How do we deal with it when we're being a jerk? The first way is don't. That might seem a little obvious, but the first thing to do is just don't. Don't deal with them if you don't have to. Don't engage if you don't have to. If you're being a jerk, stop engaging in that jerky behavior. Too simple? Too easy to be true? Well, sometimes, yes. Because sometimes you have to deal with this person and you cannot control how other people behave, right? Yes, our energy impacts other people and all the things, but sometimes you just being nice could make somebody be rude to you. I remember one time it was like my first week in high school, and the most popular, prettiest girl in school, who was a jerk, uh, was really, really mean to me. She's like, "Oh, well, look at you. I guess you just smile and you're just happy all the time, aren't you?" And that was supposed to be like this cutting insult to me. So then I could have become a real jerk myself because I thought, oh gosh, that's bad. She hates that I'm smiling. She hates that I'm happy. Some people will be a jerk to you if you sit up straight, if you stand up tall, if you take care of yourself, they're going to be a jerk, right? Why is this? Because oftentimes people who are the worst, meaning like the rudest, are really not happy with themselves. Surprise, surprise, right? Somebody who's really happy with themselves and content has no reason to put somebody down, especially for smiling. Same girl, I was wearing, like, my mom had given me some cubic zirconias. I got even some on my hoops today. You're welcome. I had some cubic zirconias in, and I'm like in the ninth grade. I'm like 13 years old or something, all excited for my first day of school, sitting there smiling. I already got chastised for smiling. And then she says, "Oh, and why are you wearing those fake diamonds? Those fake diamonds are about as fake as your smile." So see, that's where sometimes we can make a choice to go, ooh, I guess me just being happy and wearing earrings is really making somebody mad. So I better not do that. The minute you start playing into that game, you are in trouble because it's a never-ending pit. Now you're trying to appease somebody who you don't even know, and somebody who, quite frankly, is very rude. And you know, something else that's interesting, why is it a fake diamond anyway? Can it just be a real cubic zirconia? Very interesting. It's like imitation crab. Why is it imitating? Can it just be whatever the fish that it is? I forgot what kind of fish that is. But it's something. Why is it got to imitate the crab? Anyway, that's a sidebar. So number one is to not deal with them if you can. To just remove yourself and not engage. But what happens if somebody is a jerk and you have to work with them? Or somebody's a jerk and hopefully you don't live with them, but maybe you do. What do you do then? Second step, take a deep breath. That might sound so ridiculously simple, and it is. Because the minute somebody's rude to us, that energy can come up, and then you get really tight and restricted, and then that's when the jerky behavior can come out in us. Notice next time you're feeling kind of like a jerk. Notice how your breath is. Notice if you're breathing, if you're calm. You're not. I guarantee if you're feeling like a jerk and you're kind of being a jerk to somebody, you're not calm, you're not at peace, you're not in love. So the number two, I mean, really that's the first step to anything, is to remain calm. I know the times in my life when I have not been at my best, when I'm in a hurry, when something's really difficult and I'm in a hurry, that's when some not so great behavior comes out. And that's why I meditate, because I don't want to be that way. I want to be better than yesterday. Sometimes I raise my voice at my daughter. I don't want to. I want to always be calm and peaceful and loving. That doesn't always happen. But the first step is to recognize it, Take a deep breath. The third thing is to have compassion. To have compassion for yourself and whoever is throwing that toxic energy at you. Because nobody who is feeling peace, love, calm is going to throw that on you. I mean, I have gotten criticized and attacked for meditations that I've done. I have worked at yoga studios who the name brand is like the most loving yoga studio. And I've been treated the most horribly by some of the other teachers that I've ever encountered in my life. So these are all you kind of have to laugh at some of this juxtaposition sometimes. Like imagine it's like loving yoga studio and they're like, you are terrible. What are you doing? Why are you doing that for? And blah, 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 right? So you can encounter it anywhere. And when I first became a yoga teacher, that was really alarming to me because I thought everybody was loving. I thought we were just going to sit around and have tea and do yoga asanas and like, no. Because people are people. And a lot of times people who are drawn to become a yoga teacher is because we want to dive into our own spirituality because something is hurting, right? So to have compassion for yourself, if you've all of a sudden kind of been a jerk, or if somebody is being a jerk to you, to have compassion doesn't mean you agree with what they're doing. Doesn't mean you say, that's okay or accept it. But to just have compassion, because nobody in a happy, loving place would be rude to somebody else. Just, that's it. So they must be in a pretty awful place. They must be in a really awful place to criticize somebody for smiling. You must not really feel good about yourself if you're going to just attack somebody for releasing a meditation, right? Like that, I mean, who has the time to troll through, I'm going to attack every meditation person on the planet and tell them they're doing it wrong? That is somebody who's not in a happy, loving place. So to have compassion, those are the people who need it the most, right? The angriest people need love the most. Doesn't mean that you agree with it. Doesn't mean that you accept it and sign up for mistreatment. It just means to have some compassion might soften it a little bit. So another thing that you can do is call the behavior. Not you're a jerk, but you could just say, you're really upset. Sometimes to just call out what's happening. You're really frustrated. You really disapprove of my earrings. You really don't like that I'm smiling. So see, that diffuses the situation without agreeing. You're just calling what it is. One time when I was working in a restaurant, I'm not going to name names this time, even though I know most of you know what I'm talking about, my favorite restaurant on the planet. But I was working in this beautiful restaurant and there was a lot of celebrities in there. And anyway, it was one of these places where you make reservations. Most people were making reservations. Once, we would have some walk-ins, but the walk-ins would understand that, hey, whatever table you have, if you have something available, is wonderful, right? Because everyone else made a reservation. So on this particular lunchtime, it was very busy. We were totally booked. Every single table was taken. And somebody came in and was very upset without a reservation, wanted the best table in the house. She wanted me to go kick out people that were actually eating their meal because she wanted that table. Well, that wasn't going to happen. So I was trying to do all the things, breathe, have compassion. None of this was working. So sometimes somebody else might come in and observe the situation. In this moment, it was so funny because Shirley Maclaine was a regular at the restaurant, and she was just lovely, and she knew me, and she came in, and she was standing behind this lady who was just attacking me for not meeting her needs on demand. And I was trying to diffuse the situation. You're really upset, I can tell, and as soon as somebody is, a table is available where you want to be seated, I'd be happy to seat you there, but I don't know how long it's going to take, and I'm not going to kick somebody who's eating right now out so that you can sit there. I understand that that's what you want, but that's not what's going to happen. I'd be happy to get you, appetizers in the bar. And I was just, trying to go through this situation. She's like, unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. And I hate you and I hate this place. And she was name calling and all sorts of stuff. And I just stood there and I was smiling, and my smile was really making her mad. Shirley Maclaine was standing right behind her, and she was walking in that day. And she was like, what is going on with this woman? Are you kidding me? And she's looking at me like, what in the world? And so finally the lady agreed to sit down in the bar and wait for a table, because she refused. There was a table available in the dining room, but she didn't want it. There was one table available. She didn't want it. She wanted to sit outside. So Shirley Maclaine says, hi, Leah, Shirley Maclaine, table for one, anywhere that you'd like to seat me, because this is such a lovely day and it's a lovely restaurant, and I'm just grateful to be alive and to have delicious food at a place like this. And she was like this, and then, smiling, and the other lady was like, So sometimes just you being you, other people will come to aid the situation without even having to do anything. And then that diffused that lady, and she ended up having a lovely lunch after waiting for a little while. So there's just nothing that you can do. So you breathe, you have compassion, and then the universe will take care of the rest. So if you deal with somebody who is a jerk, remember, they are not in a happy place, obviously. They could use some love. That doesn't mean you agree with it, but you can just send them some love and compassion. And have compassion for yourself in those moments when you're not at your highest and best. And then make a new choice. I tell my daughter all the time, I wish it wasn't all the time. It's not all the time. But, there are times when I have mommy moments and I'm frustrated and I'm working and she wants something and something isn't going right, or I'm dealing with a jerk or something. And I get in that pain body. And then I'm not the best, highest and best self that I can be. And maybe I'll raise my voice or something. I'm working on it. It's getting better and better all the time. Less and less all the time. And I just say, I'm going to be better. Honey, I'm going to be better. I want to be a better mommy. That's why I meditate. Yesterday, I had a really tough day with technology. I found out, and I apologize if any of you have emailed me in the last 2 years through the website, which is very stressful. It was going into a mailbox that I didn't even have contact with. So people were inquiring about classes, acting classes and private coaching and all sorts of things. And I wasn't getting back to anybody because I didn't even have those emails. So if that was you, I really apologize. I'm getting that cleaned up right now, 1,000%. Well, I had to deal with some jerky tech people at first to get to the really great, wonderful people who actually ended up helping me. I was getting very frustrated, and the jerky ones were starting to rub off on me a little bit, and I had to breathe and say, whoa. So that then when I was dealing with the really helpful, wonderful people, I didn't take that toxic energy and put it on them. So it's really important to catch yourself. It's really important to address this situation, no matter how stressful it is. I mean, I'm talking 2 years worth of emails, you guys. So that's very, very stressful. Not only that, my website had gone down. Comcast, I'm going to just put them on blast because I'm not happy, during that pandemic, had shut down my phone. So my website was down, my email was down, my phone was down. Thank God I'm still in business. Breathe. It's all happening for a reason. It's all strengthening you, even when you're dealing with a jerk, even when it's stressful, even when you're a jerk. Make a new choice. Breathe. But really, if you don't have to have them, definitely in your circle of friends or family, don't. Because I'm always so itchy when I do these videos. It's fine. It's fine. Some jerk will be like, would you stop touching your face? And that's okay. It's totally good. My mom always said, be careful who you hang out with, because people are like tofu. You take on the flavor of whoever you're around. If you notice, like, jerks like to hang out with each other because they want to complain. Because either you're going to adopt that behavior, or they're going to adopt a new behavior of being better, breathing, being more in their higher self, or they're going to be repelled by you. Those are the only things that are going to happen. Either you're going to become the jerk, you're going to remove yourself from the situation, become your highest and best self, and maybe they catch on to that energy as well, or you're just going to repel. You repel. But you can keep wearing your cubic zirconias if you want to. You can keep smiling. You don't have to take on the flavor of that bad attitude. It feels so much better not to. And that Shirley Maclaine story, oh my God, I just love her. After that especially, it was such a beautiful way to handle it. And I didn't have to. So sometimes we try to figure it out. I gotta diffuse this situation. I have to, and sometimes just the best thing is to do all those things I mentioned and then just let it go. The universe will take care of the rest. All you can be in charge of is yourself. So now I want to do that Stevie Wonder song. Keep smiling, keep shining. No, and I don't even know the song. But now it's just in my head, so I'm gonna have to go look it up. You got this. You're not a jerk. None of us are born jerks. Babies are not born jerks. That's a learned behavior. So we can learn a new behavior. And to circle back to the thing with my daughter, I tell her all the time, I meditate, I do yoga, I go out for walks, I exercise, so that I can be a better mommy. Because I know, so I can be a better teacher, so I can be a better friend, so I can be a better everything. Because I know that I can take that on. Because I'm in the world. I'm a human being, and so are you, I think, right? So it's easy to take on that, you could be in line at a grocery store and somebody is being a jerk, and then you leave and you're like, why am I in such a bad mood? Because you just took on that energy and didn't even realize it. Take a deep breath, make a new choice. You got this. Even with the jerks, you got it, okay? All right, so much love to you. I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe and do all the things so that we can raise this YouTube channel together, raise consciousness together, because I've said before and I'll say it again, it doesn't take one person to raise consciousness. It doesn't take a village to raise consciousness. It takes the whole world. So just by you liking, subscribing, doing all those things, it helps to raise the consciousness. And let me know other videos that you want or meditations. And let's help each other to not be such jerks out there in the world. There's a lot of stressful things and a lot of reasons why we could decide to do that. But that causes so much pain, disease, war, hatred, division. It's not that fun. So let's choose something else.